All right, happy Friday, internet. um, man, isn't this crypto market nuts? Not really. It's still a little bit kind of quiet, right? I mean, even though it got kind of dumpy, right? So it's still playing the levels. You know, they are what they are. So I'm going to walk through them. I'm going to switch this over again. Hold on one second. Hold on one moment while we pause for station identification. Yeah. So the market is definitely not bullish. It's looking for hope. It might find it. Let's walk through how. So ultimately, we got 26,313. You got 83 cents on Matic. 83 cents on Matic. It's like bargain basement Matic, but not really. And 641 for Link. These are pretty solid prices, as you could tell by all this like overreaction to the price for the alts with these big bounces that are going on down here in these ranges. From even just the slightest recovery of BTC, now you have like that overbuying on Matic, all the way back up to like 86 and a half cents yesterday. So, or earlier today, actually. So, looking now at our levels. Now, the good news about this is we have the micro trend that was established yesterday is the micro trend that we're going to talk about today. But the price action as BTC walked through it will tell us how it's behaving, right? So currently we're utilizing that underside 1 sig as kind of this monkey bars situation, right? The price is crawling along that, and the tolerances for it are pretty close. We have a couple of wicks. So if you look at this on if I were to look at this on a 15-minute, you could, or if you grab these levels and put them on Trading View, you could see that very minor amount of price action above that lower side 1 sig. And staying in orbit around that level is actually a sign of establishing weakening, like a weak support for it, and a return to mean becomes more probable the longer that it establishes price there, which might sound a little like common sense, but the level that you are provided here gives you that range of what to look out for. And you could see, though, that operating underneath a level like we did with the mean at 27,109 yesterday ends up being bearish after a period if we don't establish strong amounts of price above it. And zooming in, you could see clearly that, yes, it's a very exacting price number in terms of US dollars, right? $27,109. I'm looking for a close, a good amount of green bodied close, 1 hour close above that level. And here we are, yesterday, a few hours hanging out around that level, never got above it. And now we're hanging out in this one. And it does have a little bit more strength at this level compared to the behavior that we saw yesterday with the trend event. So you have this like sliver of bullish hope with those two wicks that are happening there. And just the way that it's behaving along that lower side 1 sig at the 26,491. Obviously getting back above 26.5 is a good thing for the psychology round numbers part of it. But I'd start looking for, if you are hoping to see something on the upside of 27K getting retested, or that range, maybe even hitting 27,728, like the upper side 1 sig says, you really got to get some good 1 hour action above that lower side 1 sig, that 26,491. Or, hear me out, 25,610, right? With the 3 sig down there all the way at 24,489, which that 3 sig, we don't operate at 3 sigs very often. I know I mentioned it before for people who are watching these videos on, sorry if I repeat myself, for those of you who stick around for these sometimes. But the 3 sig is a lower probability. It's a little bit higher probability when we're operating on this side of the mean. Sure. It goes up from like, let me put it this way. We have almost as much probability of hitting 29,729 as we do 24,489. I would say about 3% probability for that top side, and maybe 5% at this point, maybe 6% probability for that low side, right? Operating in between 25,610 and 24,489 is doable, but closer to the 25,610 range than the 24,489 range. Okay, so the upper half of it, kind of like what we're doing now with this level, as you can see with the 26,491. So walking down through the alt stow, Matic with its mean at 82.58, and our deltas between this is actually, it, don't let the shortness of the bars fool you. These 3 sigs, like this is all the way from 96.6 and all the way down to 68.5. It is a gigantic delta between these levels. So playing between the mean and the 1 sig is actually quite substantial for swings. And getting down to that lower side 1 sig of 85.9, it'll take a little bit of bearish work, right? So I'm sorry, not 85.9. 85.9. Man, now do I have to delete this? Fuck that. Upper side 1 sig 85.9, lower side 1 sig. There we go. 79.26. Jesus. I mean, that's a lot. All right. That's a 9% delta, 8% delta between the two. And if you're looking to short down to that like lower side 2 sig, 75 cents that everybody's been clamoring about on social media, it's going to take some exceptional bearishness for alts to bleed out that bad. Granted, I mean, BTC could just show up and wreck the party again and then drop it right back down. That's the story is old as whatever. But the thing that's holding up Matic right now is nothing, right? Maximum support 87.9. Last week couldn't see it hitting and dipping down. Now it's like we were riding it for a while in the earlier part of this week, and now we're underneath it. That's going to act as resistance. Getting above 87.9 is going to take as much work as getting below volume. By the way, when I say work, as much volume on the buy side as getting the sell pressure down to is that 75 cents too as well. So it's substantial. You need some substantial movement. And so for today, what do I see? I don't see an 87.9 retest. But I mean, yeah, no, I just don't see it. I would follow these trend levels here for what the ranges are going to be. With the upper side 1 sig at 85.9 and the lower side 1 sig at 79.26. That'll be where most of the price action probably stays for the entire weekend. It might even stick above the mean at 82.58, just because getting away from that maximum support, that 87.9, that deep, it's not common. It does happen, but it's not common. So starting to hit with large double-digit percentages away from max support, not really in the cards. So Link, on the other hand, max support's at 631, and it is hoping. Link itself has grown a personality, and it is hoping to stay above the max support at 631. Getting back to that medium support though, 692. 1, that would be huge. 2, the market's got to wake up. The market's got to wake up for us to get back to 692 for Link. But right now, it's just not lively, right? We had our wacky Wednesday, and then we had just like slow bleed out Thursday, and it got dumpy. And now it's like Friday's kind of like, okay, that was cool. And now it's just like, I don't know, resting a little. So I know a couple Fridays ago, I said like the weekend could be sleepy. And it was. I'm going to say it again, like the weekend could be sleepy. And that just rolls back into, we don't have any sustained interest of volume reflecting in the market outside of like 6 hours this week where interesting stuff happened. Meaning volatility showed up and actually pushed the candles around quite a bit. And it didn't like overtly change the tune at a macro level for pretty much anything, but it did push it through levels and it created some trends and stuff like that and give us the deltas. But, I don't really see big moves happening in terms of anything over, we'll say 7% swings for alts and about maybe, if you're lucky, 4% for BTC. One candle can show up and do that, sure. And then the aftermath of that is just going to be where it landed in the trend levels as a result. Right now, if something does show up for BTC and it ends up being a big buy candle and takes it to mean, the probability of you actually seeing sell pressure that takes it back down to that 1 sig is exceptionally high, because that's just what's been going on, right? Buy goes up, people start to get excited, longs appear and they get punched down, and then shorts appear and they get squeezed out, and repeat. So it's just been the way of the world for crypto this week. And I'm looking forward to what comes next week. I'm probably just going to re-record this video because this is 11 minutes long. Nah, fuck it, I'll upload it. Those of you sticking around, I really appreciate it. And I'm going to do a YouTube Shorts version of this, clearly, but there's not nearly as much stuff in that as these. Not enough rambling. I can't tell you stories and regale you of all the bullshit. I don't know. But hey, actually, cool thing. Yeah, you might have noticed. I figured out how to do continuous autofocus on my freaking camera. I had the wrong 1080p 60 setting for video pass through on it, and it didn't allow for autofocus to happen. So like, check this out. Ooh, I know, isn't that fancy? Now I'm like, oh, my lens can finally do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, we're making strides over here with our production quality budget, as you can tell by my stage setup behind me. Whatever. All right, I'm out of here. Until next week, you know where to find me. Thumbs up, subscribe. What the hell's going on at the autofocus now?